In this lesson, I'm going to go over how to add a file to our project. We start the project with our project folder and our repository, and I want to quickly distinguish between the two. So the contents of our project folder, the folders and files we find within it, are represented by something called the working directory. So the working directory is sort of like a workbench. It's where you work on your files, you edit them, you add new files, you delete files. On the other hand, our .git folder represents our repository, and I want to introduce two places within the repository. First is the staging area. So the staging area is sort of like a rough draft space. Whenever you're done working on a file in your working directory, you want to add it to your staging area, because then once you have all the files you want in the next version of your project in your staging area, you are ready to save them in the next version of your project, which is called a commit. So a commit is basically a version of your project, and each commit has a 40-character hash, which is just 40 letters and numbers, which are unique. And this hash acts like a name for the commit. It's a way to refer to it. So the commits are in something called the commit history. And in order to add a file to our repository, first we add it to our project folder, so it goes into our working directory. Then we add it to the staging area, and then it becomes a part of a commit in our commit history. So now we're ready to add our first file. I'm going to use a source code editor called Visual Studio Code. And I've decided I'm going to create a file called journey.txt, and I'm just going to add some text to it. So we open up our source code editor, open up the folder. Now we create a new file. I'm going to call it journey.txt. And on the right-hand side, you can see that this file was created. And at the moment, it's empty. There's nothing in there. We haven't added any text. So let's go and add some cheesy text. We are just starting this learning journey, exclamation point. And now if you look on the right-hand side and we look into the file, we can see that the text is there. So the file we have in our source code editor is the file that we have in our project. Awesome. So we've added a file to our working directory, but this file is not yet in our repository, so no changes to this file are being tracked yet. So now to quickly overview, in this lesson we covered adding a file to our project, and we went over terms such as the working directory, what is the staging area, and what is a commit. That was it for this lesson. See you at the next one.